So Trey, tell us a little bit about RTT Engineering Solutions. I know people knew them as Colmet for a while, but you all have been around for decades, 30, coming up on 30 years, right? Tell us a little about RTT.
Yeah, we're just shy of 30 years. You're
Mhm.
right. Coleman is how we started out in the beginning. Uh, Around 96, 97, Binks was coming out of the spray booth industry. There was a need for another manufacturer. At the time, our owner Eric Jones had some experience in sheet metal, and the company that they were working with had all the machinery. So boom, there we go, a whole new product line, a whole new division created. Kind of fast forwarded pretty quick, some fast growth. We rebranded to RTT after a naming agreement with our then
Mhm.
owner Eric Jones and his business partner. Uh, so same, everything was the same people, same product, same place. Everything was the same. And here recently, I mean, the very new. I mean, maybe we're going on a little over a month and a half ago.
Mhm.
RTT was brought into the fold of Clean Air Industries that really focused in the industrial air filtration, dust collection, smoke collection, things like that. So that's a little bit of kind of who we are as a company, and we can go into more of that in detail if you would like here in a minute. But
Yeah, I was gonna say you all focus on paint booths, powder booths, air makeup. So this really, I think, like I said, kind of gives an end-to-end solution with Clean Air Industries. They're, because they've got some great technology as far as air handling, right? And that works well with that.
yes, yeah, we've always focused in the finishing industry as RTT, and we function in the general industrial environment for the majority of our business. I tell people all the time. They say, "What do you do?" And we're like, "Well, we build finishing equipment from golf balls to 747s. It just really doesn't matter, right? It's
Right.
whatever the customer needs. We base it on the part that's being coded, how it's being coded, the application process, and we build those
Mhm.
environments that best suit that. On the
Right.
clean air side, they were functioning in the industrial air cleaning, in the weld fab, the weld smoke, dust and grinding collection, and it's a great joining of two companies because we have a whole new and a vertical market that our
Mm.
distribution, because we choose to go to market through distribution, and our distribution that's been in that finishing world, they walk right by that fab shop, that's in the
Right.
front part of that company, and the guys at the clean air and their distribution, they're not going into the back shop looking at the finishing. So it's a great opportunity for our both of our distribution networks, to expand their product offering, to
Mhm.
expand their service. It's a great opportunity for both of our companies and all of our distribution.
Right, right. Yeah, and air handling, when you get into coding operations, air handling is extremely important, right? Now, you've got a lot of requirements from local, state, and federal agencies. You got to handle it correctly. And also, it makes good sense to handle, you get a better finish when you're handling air properly, right? I'm assuming that's scientifically proven, I'm sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Not it ain't just the code requirements and the safety aspect of it when you think about airflow and the type of airflow. But you're exactly right. If a customer doesn't have a good airflow inside of, let's just an example, let's say a wet spray application, um, you know, that overspray just floats around in the environment.
Mm,
It begins to dry. It falls on the part that hasn't been coated yet.
yeah.
Then they coat over the top of it, or it falls into where they have coated and it sticks to the outside where it's tacky. And those aren't good finishes. Those call blemishes. They call imperfection. They
Mm,
just not a great coating experience. So yeah, above just being safe and your employees are taken care of, it's is that yes, a booth that isn't set up correctly or the airflow isn't
mm.
right will be devastating to your finished coating for sure.
Right,
And that works for
right,
wet, for even powder environments as well. So
right. Mm. Yeah, from what little I know about air booth manufacturing, or paint booth manufacturing and everything, there's a lot of science that goes into this, right? Of how those booths, like we talked about, handle air, updraft, downdraft, all these things that are going on. And really, you're looking at the paint that's being applied, or the coating that's being applied, and to the naked eye, it does a lot of things, moving around and such. And there's a lot of science involved in how you all design your booths and how you build your booth, right? I mean, of really getting it tuned in and done correctly, so they do get the best finish, right?
Yes. Yeah. And it all depends on the application and what's
Hmm.
happening. But yeah, there's a lot of thought process that goes into how much airflow do you need. Not always do you just try to meet the national code. You have to look at it and say, hey, in this application, we need a little more airflow because we know the environment is going to be dirty, or we know there's a lot of overspray that's going to be in this environment. And all of that is calculated. And it's not just air movement that gets calculated, it's the duct work and the other restrictions inside of the airflow, filters, offsets. All of these things change the airflow dynamics of the fan. So the amount of pressure that the fan needs to be able to overcome, how they're controlled. We want a soft airflow. We want a hard one. We want it to be
Hmm.
adjustable. We want it, all these variables come into play when you're thinking about this. And we joke all the time, and we just say, a spray booth is just something that, blows and extracts air. And that's all it is. But it's really not. It really becomes a lot more technical and a lot more scientific. Um, Especially when we get into those environments where we're talking about a booth that's 30 or 40 feet wide, 20, 30 foot tall, and a couple hundred feet deep.
Right,
A
right,
lot goes into that. That's not just the normal, run of the mill
right.
spray enclosure.
Right. Yeah. And get into that because you all do all shapes and sizes, right? All applications, pretty much, like you said, some very small footprints to some things that almost could be their own building, right? And that takes some engineering expertise to do that because again, size is the most, I think, most important thing, like you said, to put all those formulas into place, right? But you all do a lot of different sizes, correct?
Oh, sure. Yeah. In the general industrial space, we have booths that are just open in the front, no doors. We build them
Hmm.
square. We build them with a gabled panel system. It offers better lighting. As the booths become bigger, they become with heavier structure. They're kind of built all which way that needs to be built. We build some auto refinish style booths as well. It's not our main market. Mostly we focus in the general industrial
Hmm.
and those types of environments. But we do have them and we do offer them, and we have a lot of distributors that are successful selling those products. But yeah, it when you think of something that's being sprayed or coated, uh, immediately you have to think, okay, well, what is the best use of a spray booth for that product?
Hmm.
Minimal floor space for the manufacturing plant. Floor space is very important. So,
Right.
you can't just throw a 40-foot booth in there just because you want to, and if your parts aren't that big. So, you know, a lot of that comes into play. So, yeah, we have everything from little bitty tiny booths that are 3 feet wide, 3 feet tall, and about 3 foot deep. Uh, as standard products, all the way to booths that are several hundred wide, almost 100 tall, and a couple hundred feet deep. Some of those, as you
Right.
said, are
Mm.
their own building environment because they're so
Mhm.
large that they just become their own outside structure.
Right, right, yeah. You've been in this industry for what, almost several 2 decades now, right? I mean, pretty much coming up close to that. And
I am.
uh,
I've been at RTT now for going right at 20 years. Before that, I
mhm,
was in the installation and kind of had my
mhm,
own installation company. And so I did that for about 5 or 6 years prior to that. So yeah, I'm getting close to that 30-year mark myself. It's hard to
right,
believe, with none of this gray I have. But yeah, it's
correct.
been a while. I've been around for a while, and it's funny in our industry because that's what most guys are. They kind of got into this, fell into this industry somehow, and they fall in love with it, and they just work within this nice, fine little group of people that you kind of see
Right,
everywhere you go. So
right, yeah. So you started out as a wrench turner. There you go. That's the way to start out, right? Doing all
that's
that.
exactly
Uh,
right. Yeah, I tell people I'm
yeah.
a welder by trade and work my way into a nice, office spot here. Yeah. So
There you go. There you go.
yeah.
I was gonna, yeah, because I was gonna ask you what are finishers, these finishing companies, what are they asking you all to do these days that's kind of unique and different than what do they want? What do they want? Talk about, they want them, I'm assuming they want the most reliability and most use, and probably much the smallest footprint they can get because floor space is so valuable, right? So what would you say that they're asking you all to do more and more of these days?
Yeah, what we're seeing is, and what we try to get on the fronting edge of is that, let's let me back up there for a second. A spray booth design has been the same since they were drawn on by hand on paper, right?
Hmm.
There's not a lot that changed in the design of the spray booth, but what we've really focused on is, like you said, that reliability, that functionality, the longevity of the equipment, and
Hmm.
also what we're seeing from a lot of our market is a need for visibility. And I
Hmm.
and I say that, like, if you think of filtration, how
Right.
long does the filter really last in the spray booth? Am I, as a customer, getting the longevity out of that particular filtration system? Or are they replacing too soon? Are they waiting too long and then having those
Right.
coating issues that we discussed? When the airflow isn't right. That's what we're seeing. So we're really seeing a lot of a big push into technology, into visibility, into reporting.
Hmm.
Where we can offer a more sophisticated piece of equipment that connects the back end environment to the front end office, and you
Right.
get some
Hmm.
visibility there. and
Right.
and that's the what we're kind of seeing, a push in the marketplace, for that type of equipment. Now, there are some new technologies in powder coating where the temperature cure is lower, so it
Hmm.
changes our equipment a little bit. Some dust on dust or dry on dry applications, change some of the equipment configurations. But uh, you know mostly what I would say, if you said, man, what is the newest trend in the industry? I would
Hmm.
say visibility. Companies need visibility to their equipment out there. What's happening? Is it
Right.
running efficiently? And are they getting the best bang for their buck day after day after day?
Right. Yeah. And like I said, yeah, pretty much, because it's one of the most important, pieces of equipment. And I've had people tell me in automotive, the painting and the coating application is the most important part of that entire operation there, how it is. With things, but and like I said, you all are you're located in Texas, but you're all over, right? The U.S. from shore to shore, right? I mean, you all are pretty much can service anybody and get these booths made and shipped to them, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. We do all of our manufacturing right here in Rockwall, Texas, which is just east of Dallas. But our distribution network that, we take to market through is very widespread across the entire United States, into Canada and Mexico. On our filtration side of our business, our RP filtration business, we're global there. We have distribution in Europe and in Asia, and we ship our products all over the world. And we can do that on our spray booth metal side, but we don't have the distribution set up overseas, and so we don't see as much sales that way. But yeah, I guess you could say we're a global company when it comes
Right.
to the selling of our products.
Right. And yeah, your filtration division, I mean, that's some very high tech stuff. You all have engineered that, and I'm sure you've patented that, but that pretty much came out of putting these the booths together, of really needing something better for people to use, right?
Yes, yeah, we build spray booths that use paint arresters, and why not manufacture the paint arrestor as well, offer our distribution a nice product in that. And we're a manufacturer, and manufacturers that work in capital equipment sales, we don't see a lot of recurring sales, right? It's just, we're selling
Mm.
capital equipment mostly. From a business standpoint, it opened up an opportunity for us to see some recurring cash flow
Mm.
and movement, and to offer some things for our distribution. When we brought in the filtration, we began to offer a 5-year warranty on our products.
Mm.
We trust our filtration that well that if it's being used in the booth, and we extend our 1 or 2 year standard warranty to 5 years on the booth and the air handling equipment. So it's a good business sense for our distribution, as well as us as a manufacturer.
Right. Right. Well, wrap up here. Just congratulations on the acquisition and your promotion. You're now general manager of the operation, and with great challenges comes great rewards, and so you've got that to look forward to now. But listen, I appreciate you joining us, and again, congratulations on everything that's been happening with you all.
No, I thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I look forward to it. I look forward to my personal, advancement and achievements, as well as our company and the roll up of Clean Air Industries, and just what we can turn into for the industry, offer our distribution and our ultimate end users as kind of a one stop place to go and get all your products for your manufacturing and coating. So it's an exciting time, and it's going to be fun, and we're looking forward to it, and we're moving fast and trying to get everything into the market we can. So I appreciate the opportunity, to be on this call with you and all of that as well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much again.